Someone is asking, apart from bank loans, where else can someone borrow money from? Welcome to A Word from the Coach. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you like what we are talking about here, please do not leave before you like this video. Drop us a comment. If you have any other question, please drop it in the comment section or feel free to inbox me in my various inboxes and I'll be glad to make another Word from the Coach video in response to the same. I do so that I do not just respond to you, but I also help someone else who might be having similar concerns. So on to today's question, where else apart from bank loans can someone be able to borrow money? This person is asking about sources of credit in a nutshell. And I'm going to give us about 9 sources of credit. This list is not exhaustive. Feel free to also add other sources in the comment section so that we can continue equipping one another. The first place you can get a credit facility, the first place you can borrow money is from friends and relatives. These ones are always readily close to us or readily available. It is the cheapest source of credit. Many of them are not as mean looking as other sources might be. Many of them might not even charge interest for the money that they will give us. So it will be a loan that is soft in a way. It is a loan that is friendly. Number 2, you can also get credit from your employer. Some employers do advance credit facilities to their employees in different formats. One of the most common format is salary advance. Some employers give their employees their salary in advance, which is a credit option. Those employees who borrow salary advance from the bank understand why it's a credit option, because you access money before you get to pay for it later. So some employers give their employees salary advance and then they get to deduct when it is the time for the proper payment of salary. Some employers will charge a little interest for doing that. Others will not charge anything for doing that. Some employers will give the advance in cash form. Other employers, especially those that are in the food industry or those that are in industries dealing with items that can benefit the employees directly, can advance the physical items. Let's say you're working for a meat processing farm. They can give you meat for you to go and enjoy. Then at the end of the month, they deduct the worth of the meat that you have enjoyed in the course of the month from your salary. Number 3, you can access credit facilities from banks. These are the most prominent formal sources of credit. This is where you go and get to apply for your loan facility, and they get to give you on specific terms that have been laid out on how certain types of individuals can be able to access these credit facilities. Banks will charge you interest depending on their prevailing interest regimes. So banks will have different kinds of facilities to give you. Banks can give you, for example, salary advance. This is where the bank that processes your salary gets to give you access to part of your salary before the date of receiving your salary, and then when your salary is repaid, they get to deduct. Banks can also have personal loans that are check-off in nature or scheme loans. This is where the bank has gotten into arrangements with your employer that the employees of that employer can get facilities at friendly terms from the bank, and in turn, the company also assures the bank that as long as they are our employees, we will facilitate the deduction of the loan repayments and give it to you directly. Banks can also give personal loans that are non-check-off. This is where your company, your employer, does not have an arrangement with the bank, but your salary passes through that bank, and that bank is able to take the risk of advancing some loan facility based on the stability of your salary that has been passing through the account which you have with them. So this one, most times, will only require your employer to just sign to confirm that you are their employee, but the employer does not deduct you at source. It is your responsibility, or most times, when your salary is paid into the bank account, they will take their portion and leave the rest to you for your daily endeavors. Banks can also give asset-based finance or asset finance. This is where the bank helps you to acquire an asset. They do not give you cash. You identify an asset you want to buy, a motor vehicle, machinery, whatever it is that you want to buy. You bring the pro forma invoice to the bank. They check your affordability. If you are able to afford, then they are able to process the loan for you. They send the money directly to the seller who is selling to you that particular asset. And then that asset becomes security to the facility. That means, therefore, the asset is co-owned between you and the bank, or the bank registers its interests as paramount interests on the asset, so that in the event of default, then the asset can be recovered and sold to recover the money of the bank. Banks can also give home loans or mortgage loans. These are loans that are given to individuals or businesses to help them acquire assets in the real estate space, especially houses, be it for commercial or residential purposes. I have done a video here on mortgage loans. If you haven't watched it, please take a moment and go through it. You might learn a thing or two about mortgage loans. Banks can also offer what we call LPO financing. This is where you have been given an order to supply. Let's say you are a business person, you supply certain items. Therefore, another entity, another company has given you an order to supply, but they will pay you after you have supplied. Maybe you do not have the money to fulfill the order, to be able to execute the order. So you go to your bank, you tell them, I have been given this LPO or LSO. LPO is local purchase order, LSO is local service order. It is an order requesting you to supply. So you tell them, I've received this LPO to supply, but I don't have money. I need this amount of money. The bank will look at the LPO, will confirm its validity and its genuineness. And if they are satisfied, they can be able to advance you money on condition that when the other person will pay, they will pay through your account with the bank, so that when the money comes, then the bank will be able to deduct. LPO facilities are largely short-term. Banks can also offer overdrafts. This is where individuals or businesses are allowed to access money in their accounts beyond the 0 point. So you are given some limit into the negative, that when you do not have money, you can be able to access money into the negative up to the limit that you have been given. Most times when your next credit is landing into the account, it goes to fill the hole that you have dug as at the time when the amount is coming. Interest is usually charged on the amount that is in the negative. So if today you have 100,000 in the negative, that is what will attract interest. If tomorrow you have gone to the negative to 200,000, that is what will attract interest. If some money comes in and only 50,000 is in the negative, then that is what attracts interest. They can also give other facilities like invoice discounting. This is where you have executed a job or you have supplied and you have already issued an invoice, you are waiting for payment. Then you go to your bank, let's say you have you're pressed with other matters, you need cash immediately. So you go to your bank, you tell them, I did this job, I have this invoice, I want some money against this invoice. The bank will be able to look at it, confirm if it is genuine, then they can give you the money, and when you will be paid, they will deduct their money, of course, together with their fee, and then you are able to access the rest. Then there are very many other facilities that the bank can give. The banks can give letters of credit for people who are involved in import business. This is where they write to confirm that this person is of good standing. So you're free to do business with them. In any event, we will come in, for them. These are letters of comfort. Banks can also give guarantees. bid bonds, performance bonds, and so on. Now, all these facilities can either be secured or unsecured. They can also be personal or business. Number 4, source of credit will be microfinance institutions. These are entities that lend money. Most of them are registered formal entities but unregulated. They are not regulated by the central bank of your country. So they are money lenders, but they don't fall under the same regulation that the typical banks would fall into. Their facilities are largely expensive compared to the rates given by the banks, but they are characterized by swiftness. They are characterized by flexibility of their terms and conditions. So where the banks will be rigid, the microfinances will be a bit flexible. If you like, you can call them advanced or graduated shylocks. They are formal, high interest rate compared to the banks, flexible, very swift. They'll give you money faster than these formal entities will do. Number 5, you can also get credit from hire purchase companies. These are companies that can help you acquire assets, acquire items, mostly household items or other assets like motor vehicles. You pay some deposit, some down payment, and the remaining amount is spread across a period of time, of course, at a premium or at some interest. So usually the higher purchase price eventually is bigger than the cash price because they are also risking to allow you to start enjoying whatever it is they've given you before you have completed repaying or paying for it. In most cases, if you default, then they are able to come and repossess whatever it is that they gave you so that they can be able to dispose and recover their remaining amount. Number 6, you can get credit facilities from suppliers. This is for those of you that are in business. These are your suppliers who allow you access to the items that they sell to you so that you can resell. So these are the people who supply to you. So they'll give you what we call supplier's credit. This is where they will supply you with the goods. You are able to sell the goods and pay them later according to the agreement or arrangement that you have with them. So some of them will give you goods on credit. You repay them after 30 days, 10 days, 60 days, 90 days, depending with the arrangement that you have with them. Some suppliers may sell you those items at a slightly higher price than they would if you bought cash. Others will just sell to you those items at the same price that they will sell to you if you were buying cash. This particular source of credit largely relies on relationship, the kind of relationship that you have with the suppliers. If you default, then you spoil that relationship. Therefore, they are at liberty to blacklist you, to refuse to advance you such credit. They can insist now going forward you will be paying cash. So it is important that you manage that relationship very well. Number 7, we have the shylocks. These are the street money lenders, those that are characterized by mean-looking faces. They largely offer short-term credit. Most of their credit is secured largely by household items or assets like motor vehicles that you will have. They are also known for their swiftness. They will act very fast. They are also flexible. They will give you money where banks and other formal lenders may not be able to give you, but they lend their money at exorbitant interest rates. I was surprised one day to realize that we have money lenders, shylocks, that give money at a rate of 100% per week. And people are flocking in those places. The guys are worried they do not even have enough money to lend out. They are also characterized by their ruthless demeanor. They are usually ruthless, and any slight indication of default will be met by ruthlessness. Many times, if they were holding your security or your asset as security, then they will quickly swing into action to dispose of the same so that they can be able to recover their money and make profit at the same time. Sometimes some people feel that these guys are always praying that you fail to repay so that they can sell your asset and get more money. So they will accept many forms of security. They will accept motor vehicles. They will accept laptops. They will accept household items like television sets, refrigerators, and so on. For people who are employed in formal institutions, they can also accept post-dated checks, where you give them checks, you have dated a date when you will be receiving your income, so that when that day comes, they just deposit the check. These ones are very common with bankers and people who work in other financial institutions, because the shylocks are aware that in such institutions, it is a requirement that everyone must maintain high levels of financial discipline. That if you are to give checks that would bounce, then you even risk losing your job. Therefore, you will do anything under the sun to be able to repay their money. Number 8, you can access funds or access credit using credit cards. These are special cards issued by financial institutions to allow you access to money or be able to do your shopping today and pay at a later date. Mostly, credit cards will have an interest-free window where all monies that have been used in the previous cycle can be paid without being charged any interest. However, any amount that is outstanding after the interest-free window begins to attract interest that is determined by the lending institution. Therefore, you have to be careful if you have a credit card for you to be able to master how your cycle runs, so that you can play safe within the window that you can be able to repay without interest. Credit cards are highly ensnaring. They get to trap very many people because of their cyclic nature. Therefore, we have many people who will draw funds from credit cards and only pay the minimum required. Most credit cards will have a stipulated minimum amount that you are allowed to pay. So you are not allowed to pay less than that amount. But that amount might be a percentage, let's say 10% of the money that you accessed. So many people begin to feel comfortable paying small amounts. So they will opt to pay 10 or 20% or even 5% of what they were able to access. That means they are leaving the remaining percentage to be subjected to interest. And that is when credit cards begin to be difficult to manage for many such people. Lastly, number 9, you can also get credit from mobile or online credit providers. These days, due to the improvements, advancements in technology, we have had lending being made digital. Therefore, you can be able to access credit facilities through their phone. This may come in the form of cash, or it may come in the form of other units that you would want to use through the phone or online. We are talking about airtime advance, where the telcos will allow you airtime in advance that you get to repay later. We are also talking about app loans, loans that people get to borrow from mobile apps that are available on the various app stores, app markets that we have. These ones are largely expensive. Sometimes they are also referred to as advanced shylocks, or shylocks who are modern, shylocks who are digital, because they have extremely high rates. Many of them are short-term, some of them extremely short-term, as short as 1 day. So you will get those that will give you money for 1 day, for 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, but their rates are out of this world. But they also ride on convenience, because nobody gets to know when you are borrowing. You might be seated in the middle of a meeting with everyone else, and everyone thinks you are with them. You have already borrowed while you're still seated there, and no one is aware. But they also have very ruthless recovery methods. Therefore, as you go to pick money from them, you need to get ready. You need to have a thick skin to be able to receive the insults they will give you when they are chasing for their money, but also to be able to continue repaying at high rates. These ones also will be weakening your financial muscle if you make them your closest friend every other day. Due to their cyclic tendency, they are also highly addictive. Therefore, they will most likely send you into the trap of debt. Good people, I hope this breakdown then helps you who was wondering where you can be able to get your next credit, or you who just wanted to know the various sources of credit. If that is the case and this has been useful for you, please do like this video. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Drop us a comment if you have any other question, be it a build-up on this or any other independent question in the world of financial literacy, in the world of business development. Feel free to drop it in the comment section. Feel free to send it to my various inboxes, and I will be glad to do another word from the coach video in response to the same. You can do better. See you in the next.